name's Connor Moriarty. I'm a psychotherapist specializing in trauma, organizational health, community health, and ecotherapy. Over the years, I've developed a personal interest in the unique ways that individual people, families, and communities find solutions to the problems that they're encountering, whether they be mental health related, well-being more generally, or even economic issues. And it's been really a pleasure to be here watching what you and your community are doing here to create access to connection, access to support, and a very authentic belonging. It's just beautiful to see. You know when you go into someone's house and they're being polite, but they're just being polite. Gracious, but not particularly thrilled you're there. It was none of that. We walked in the door, you guys gave us hugs. There was food, there was coffee. The community started showing up, people just started trickling in. Everybody was smiling and happy to be here. You fed us. Music started playing, and not even with any effort to set up. You know, it's from my perspective, it seemed like people just knew this is what we do. This is how we gather. Poetry was read, and more music was played.
Yes.
I can't think of a more effective way to communicate what this is about, what this project, what this community, what you all are doing is about. You all, it seems to me you've really mastered that balance. It's become something that is a part of this community, and to me is what means the wounds will heal. And what's gonna grow from that is just, it's a joy to be able to see, and I can't wait to be here with you guys in 10 years and look back. And then again in 20, because it's gonna keep growing.
Yeah.
What's happening here in the community, why these organizations are emerging to address these problems in as organic and grassroots a way as possible. You know, sun shining, absolutely stunningly beautiful morning. We parked the car, walked down to the beach, and there had to be 30, maybe 40 people there with this absolutely wonderfully wacky lady, Tracy. By the time we were done, I was warm. We walked into the water, and it felt amazing. What we're seeing worldwide is indicative of tremendous imbalance. And the way I've come to think of this is mostly in my own head, but it feels to me like an immune response. When your body's fighting off an infection, it creates ways of healing. And having the delegates from the Amazon connect with your community about trying to restore the environment really made it crystal clear just how similar a lot of the struggles that we're seeing around the world are. The way that people are dealing with it might be different, but there's also a tremendous amount that we have in common. In our community, we're feeling many of the same pressures from emotional distress and the symptoms that come from that. We're also seeing inadequate and insufficient response from the systems that are in place to address those needs in theory. And what else can you do except for try to figure out how to step outside of the system and solve the problems yourself? I left that day feeling clearer and more hopeful that these natural inclinations that people have are getting the sunlight and water that they need to be able to grow. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. All getting together at the top of the mountain on a chilly but not rainy day. We got to see and feel a little bit more of the landscape. We got to understand how important this mountain has been to your community. It made a lot more sense to me how important it is and why you're taking the effort to rewild, reforest, and reestablish the health of this place, of the ecosystem. What you know, what we know is that you can't live without a healthy, thriving, natural world. You can't. That day made it abundantly clear that this is a resource that you all treasure and will work hard to protect and preserve. An awareness of history, and a willingness to share the story, and not just out of like a sense of obligation, but a sense of purpose, and with a openness that is truly humbling. Every single person we've met with has given so much more time than I ever could have thought to expect. I've been other places, met with other groups, and you get your 15-minute talk and a cup of coffee, and then, okay, next thing, gotta move along. We have never been rushed or ushered out of anything. Quite the opposite. The conversation evolves and emerges, and people are in it with us. I don't know how else you make people feel welcome than to give them the time and the space to converse and connect and build relationships. It's just amazing. That has been throughout every single meeting, every single event, every single person we've met with.